My name is Talia Mercer. I'm 31, and for the last 3 years I've lived out of conference badges, hotel key cards, and translation headsets that start to pinch behind the ears after hour 10. Berlin to Toronto, Lisbon to Dubai. My job is taking other people's words, polished, technical, important-sounding words, and making them land clean in a room full of strangers. At home, my role has always been the same, the quiet fixer, the one who knows everyone's schedules without being asked, the one who wires money at 2 a.m. because someone forgot rent, again. If you need someone to carry the weight without making noise, I'm that person. My younger sister Maya is the opposite. She's 28, bright and magnetic, forever in between opportunities. People lend her couches and cars because she smiles like the bill is tomorrow's problem. She collects second chances the way I collect receipts. And our grandmother, 83, proud, small, sharp-tongued, was supposed to be the one thing we all protected. 2 summers ago, when the market spiked and everyone told me I was insane, I bought a house. Not as a trophy, as a promise. Grandma doesn't move again. She gets morning sun for her orchids. She gets a ground floor room, a bathroom with grab bars, and a hallway wide enough for her walker without bruising her hips. That was the deal I made, in my head, in my bank account, in my bones. So when my contract in Lisbon ended, I flew home. 36 hours of airports and stale coffee, then a ride share straight to the place I'd been paying for like a heartbeat. I didn't tell Maya the exact day. I wanted to see the truth of the house without edits. The lawn was trimmed. That part looked good. But the porch told a different story. 3 scooters, a pink helmet, a broken drone wing, a faded wreath that read, "Bless this mess." It was January. No holidays left to blame. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Nothing. The door was unlocked. Inside, the noise hit me first. Cartoons blaring. A toddler screaming because someone had the green cup. A boy yelling, "That's mine!" Like ownership was the only language he knew. I stepped over tiny sneakers and a toppled laundry basket, and then I saw her. My grandmother was on her knees under the kitchen table, scrubbing the floor with a sponge the size of my wallet. A bucket of gray water sloshed beside her. Her sweater slid off one shoulder like gravity had gotten impatient. She didn't look up when I spoke. "Hey," I said softly. "Granny, careful." She muttered, still wiping. "Kid spilled juice again. Don't step where it's sticky." "It's me," I said, my voice too controlled. "It's Talia. I'm home." She paused, just long enough to break me. "Talia," she repeated, like it was a name she'd heard on television. "You a friend of Maya's?" My mouth went dry so fast it hurt. "I'm family," I whispered. She finally glanced up. Her eyes searched my face, polite, distant, then slid away like my features didn't lock into place. I crouched down. "It's me," I said again, because sometimes repeating something is the only way not to scream it. Before she could answer, a voice snapped from the hallway. "Can you take the trash out already?" Maya yelled. "Also, we're out of the good yogurt. Get the blueberry kind next time." Footsteps, a baby babbling. Maya walked in. Ponytail, messy leggings, a child on her hip, like an accessory. She saw me and stopped like she'd run into a coworker at the grocery store. "Oh," she said. "You weren't supposed to come till Friday." "Hi," I said. She shifted the baby. "Well, welcome, I guess. Don't mind the chaos. We didn't know you were popping in." Grandma went back to the floor. The sponge squeaked. The baby reached for my glasses like I was a stranger on a bus. That was the first crack. Not the yelling, not the money. Just my grandmother on tile I paid for, moving like staff, and the way she didn't recognize my face. I set the duty-free chocolates on the counter and breathed through my nose. The translator in me filed everything away. Tone, word choice, the casual ownership in Maya's voice. "Mess. Already. Next time." "Where's her walker?" I asked. Maya shrugged. "Garage. It clutters the hall." "It clutters the hall," I repeated. I nodded once. "Nothing else." "Where is she sleeping?" "In the office," Maya said, like it was thoughtful. "The office doesn't have the hospital bed." "It does now," she replied. "We swapped rooms. The kids needed the bigger one." Grandma looked up, eager to smooth things over. "I like the office." "You like the window?" I asked gently, already picturing the narrow doorway, the bruised shoulders. Maya snorted. "She comes in once a year and wants to rearrange our whole life." The word hung there. She corrected herself too late. "Grandma's life." A boy ran full speed across the kitchen and crashed into my shin. "Ow," he said, offended. "Where's the respect?" Grandma murmured, wiping at a spot that wasn't there. I walked into the garage and found the walker shoved behind bins labeled, "My keep," in Maya's handwriting. I brought it back inside. "This stays," I said. Maya stared at me. "You're making a scene." "I haven't started," I said calmly. She lifted her chin. "We're family. We help each other. You offered the house." "I offered Grandma a home," I said, "not a job." "It's both," she snapped. "You can't separate it." "I can," I said. "I am." Her eyes glossed over. "You don't understand how hard it is with 3 kids. I'm doing my best." "I believe you," I said, "but your best doesn't get to be paid for with her knees." "So what?" Maya shot back. "You're going to evict your own sister in this economy?" "This isn't revenge," I said. "This is closure." "Closure," she laughed. "I'm closing the gap," I said, "between what I paid for and what's happening, between guest and owner, between the lie that Grandma has to earn safety by cleaning your mess." "You said 2 months," she snapped. "It's been 19, I said. That shut her up. Later that night, when the house finally went quiet, I stood in the doorway of the office and listened to Grandma snore in a room not built for her body. I set the walker beside her bed. Then I went to the kitchen table and opened my laptop. A folder stared back at me. House legal. I didn't write an angry message. I wrote a list. Dates, amounts, promises, photos. I attached the HOA complaint, the water bill spike, the trampoline receipt, screenshots where 2 months became, until school ends, became, the market is crazy. My phone buzzed. Ethan, my boyfriend. "You okay?" "I'm home. It's worse than I thought." "Stay factual," he wrote. "They'll try to make you the villain." I finished the email. Subject line, immediate steps. Neutral, plain, final. Then I called my lawyer. He answered on the second ring. "Talia," he said, "burning the midnight oil?" "Yeah," I replied. "It's time to set things right." I didn't sleep. At 5:12 a.m., I watched the sky go from bruised to pale. At 7:03, my lawyer texted, "We can proceed on 3 tracks. Notice to vacate, safety modifications, cost accounting. Want me to draft?" I typed back, "Yes to all 3. That morning, I cooked pancakes. A boy wandered in, rubbing his eyes. "Do you work here?" "I live here," I said. Maya came in last, scrolling. "Oh, good. You cooked." "They're for Grandma," I said. "And the kids." She poured coffee. "So, about last night." "You'll get an email this afternoon," I said, "from my lawyer." Her face drained. "You're kidding." "I'm not." "You can't be serious." "I am," I said. "This stops." "Everyone will know you threw us out," she whispered. I met her eyes. "Everyone will know I stopped my grandmother from being a maid in her own home." At 11:27 a.m., the email went out. At 12:02, my phone started vibrating like it had a fever. Mom, cousins, unknown numbers. I set the phone face down and poured Grandma tea. And standing there, watching her smile with blueberry on her lip, I felt something settle into place. Not happiness, not peace, clarity. Because I knew this was the moment my family would stop asking politely and start punishing me for saying no. At 12:02 p.m., my phone vibrated like it had a fever. I didn't pick it up. I poured Grandma more tea. Chamomile. Honey. 2 teaspoons, the way she likes it when her hands shake. The phone kept buzzing on the table like an anxious insect. Mom, Aunt Lena, Cousin Joe. An unknown number that left a voicemail without speaking. I flipped the screen over only once, long enough to see 47 new messages in the family group chat, and then placed it face down again. "Everything okay?" Grandma asked, peering at me over her mug. "Yeah," I said, "just noise." She nodded, satisfied. Noise I understood. Noise was something you could wait out. At 2:40 p.m., my lawyer called. "You're going to get blowback," he said without preamble. "Stay boring. Landlords lose when they get emotional." "I'm not a landlord," I said. "You are in writing," he replied, "and writing is what counts." The notice went out officially at 11:27 a.m. 60 days to vacate, with an early move-out incentive. First month's rent covered if Maya left in 30. A checklist of safety modifications for Grandma. Walker accessible, rug secured, grab bars reinstalled. Weekly cleaning reinstated. Temporary child care support to help Maya pack. It was fair, generous even. It didn't matter. By 3:15, the first Facebook post went up. A cousin sent me a screenshot. "Imagine being thrown out with 3 kids by your own sister because she wants to set boundaries. Some people forget where they came from." The comments poured in like rain on a cracked roof. "Praying for you. Heartless. Money changes people. Family doesn't do this." I stared at the words and felt something surprising. Not rage, not shame, just distance. This was the story Maya needed. A clean villain, a simple arc. At 3:20, I texted her, "Me. Please remove the post. We can keep this offline. Maya, it's my story. I stared at that line for a long time. Then I replied with one photo. Grandma's knees on the tile, the sponge, the bucket of gray water. Me, then tell the whole story. No response. That evening, Mom showed up with a casserole like it was armor. She stood in the doorway, eyes sharp with disappointment I'd worn like a coat my whole childhood. You won't actually put them on the street, she said. No, I replied. I offered rent assistance. You're making Maya look like a bad mother. She's not a bad mother, I said. She made a bad situation permanent. My mother exhaled, heavy, practiced. You promised to support family. I promised to support Grandma. She's part of the family, Mom snapped. She's the reason we have the word, I said. That landed hard. My mother looked away. You think you're better because you have money now? I don't think I'm better, I said. I think I'm done. She left without hugging me. Day 5. The locks got serviced. Not changed. Serviced. I sent Maya the receipt with one word attached. Safety. Day 7. The cleaner came back. She texted me a photo of fresh towels rolled like hotel spirals. She smiled so big today, the message read. I sat at the kitchen table and cried into my coffee without making a sound. Day 9. I moved Grandma back into the big bedroom. Is this okay? I asked. She patted my cheek. My bones already said thank you. That night, Maya cornered me in the hallway. I found an apartment, she said. Good, I replied. It's small, she added. I'll pay first month. And the deposit? I asked. She swallowed. You're really doing this, she said, like the idea had finally solidified. Yes, I said, I am. You changed. I translated storms for 3 years, I said quietly. I learned how to say no in 6 languages. Turns out I needed it in 1. She stared at the carpet, then looked up at me. Are you happy? The question felt like a trap. No, I said honestly. Not happy. Clear. By then, the online noise had spread beyond family. One of Ethan's ex-girlfriends, a woman who documented her life in inspirational quotes and curated outrage, shared Maya's post with a caption about toxic boundaries and rich siblings who forget love. Ethan warned me as soon as he saw it. She's amplifying it, he said. Not because she cares, because drama travels. Let it, I said. For the first time, I meant it. At 11:27 p.m., Maya's phone finally went quiet. The next morning, Grandma and I ate pancakes on the porch. She told me a story I'd heard 100 times about dancing with a jazz musician in 1962. This time, she mixed up the names. I didn't correct her. What did it matter? What mattered was the way she smiled when she talked, the way her shoulders relaxed now that no one was timing her usefulness. By day 16, the movers came. The kids watched boxes like it was a TV show. Maya labeled everything with a shaking hand. I lifted the heaviest things. At one point, she said very quietly, "Thank you." I pretended not to hear it, not because it didn't matter, but because it mattered too much to turn into leverage. On day 27, she handed me the keys. She cried in the driveway. I didn't hug her first. I let her choose. She did. It was awkward, wet, real. That night, the house felt enormous. I did what you do after a breakup, not to gloat, but to reset. I opened windows, threw away broken crayons, patched holes where a dartboard had been. I erased the chalkboard schedule completely. Then I wrote one line in the corner. Grandma rests, full stop. The phone kept lighting up. 74 missed calls one day, 19 the next, then 8, then 2. The silence afterward wasn't peace. It was consequence, and I let it be. The house didn't feel empty after Maya left. It felt honest. No cartoons leaking from every room. No toys underfoot. No sense that the walls were bracing for impact. Just space. Real space. The kind that lets you hear your own breathing again. The first morning after the movers pulled away, Grandma and I sat at the kitchen table with the windows open. Sunlight cut across the counter where the kids' artwork used to be taped, leaving faint rectangles like memories that hadn't fully let go yet. She stirred her tea slowly. I thought I lost you, she said. I looked up. When? When you left, she replied. For all those trips. I kept waiting for you to come back loud. I smiled at that. I was loud, I said, just not with my mouth. She nodded like that made perfect sense. By the end of the week, the routine settled in. Meds at 9, another check at 2, pancakes every Tuesday, a slow walk to the mailbox every Thursday, her hand tucked into the crook of my elbow like we were co-conspirators. People think closure is dramatic. A slammed door, a courtroom speech, a villain defeated. For me, it was repetition. It was watching Grandma recognize me every morning. Not always by name, but by certainty, by comfort. One afternoon, sitting on the porch, I explained what I'd done in the simplest words I could find. I told Maya she couldn't live here anymore, I said, because you are not the help. This is your house. She considered that. I like the big room, she said finally, and the grab bars. I laughed. Me too. Maya texted sometimes. Pictures of the kids in a living room that looked like a starter kit, folding chairs, a lamp that didn't match anything, the kind of place where you begin again. She always added the same line. They miss you. I answered when I had capacity. I said no to requests that smelled like the old days. I said yes to birthday cake. Ethan stayed steady through all of it. No speeches, no rescuing, just presence. People are going to rewrite this forever, he said one night as we washed dishes together. I know, I replied. And you're okay with that? I dried my hands and thought about it. I'm okay with the version where Grandma is safe. He smiled. That's the only ending that matters. Mom never apologized. She sent articles instead. Long think pieces about compassion and family loyalty. I replied with logistics. Grandma's appointment is at 10:30. Can you drive? Sometimes she did. Mostly she didn't. The distance became manageable. One evening, a neighbor stopped me while I was pushing Grandma's walker down the block. I heard there was family drama, he said gently. There was, I replied. You did what you had to. I did what I promised, I said. That felt truer. Months passed. The house settled into itself. I planted cilantro in pots with the kids when they visited. I let them spill water. I didn't let them make Grandma clean it up. I stopped translating my needs into something smaller. I used to think my job was to make messes polite, make demands reasonable, make my own needs optional. Now I translate for one person, myself. Here's the sentence that finally landed in my mouth without stuttering. I will not fund my own erasure. I won't bankroll chaos to keep the peace. I won't confuse silence with loyalty. I won't pretend love means unlimited access to my wallet, my time, or my home. I will help, but not at the price of harm. One morning, Grandma looked at me across the kitchen table, clear-eyed and certain. You came back, she said. I did, I replied. She smiled. Good. That was my closure. Not perfect, not cinematic, just a warm kitchen, a steady walker, pancakes on Tuesdays, and a door that opens to the person I actually am.